everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers and I can't thank all of you enough for all of that support. I can't believe we got here. Given that most of my content is Stardew Valley themed, I thought it would be a fun way to celebrate by making one of the most iconic foods in the game. So for today's video, we're going to be making the strange bun. Now before I begin, I'm going to highlight what the ingredients are showing on the Stardew wiki. So what have we got here? The ingredients here are wheat flour, periwinkle and void mayo. The thing is, I kind of want my version to taste good. I don't think I can make anything taste good using those ingredients. I mean, obviously the flour, we're going to need to use the flour, but void mayo doesn't exist and I don't really want to use grubs in my recipe, so we're going to do our own take on that. We're just going to have it so aesthetically it looks like a strange bun. Now, full disclosure, I know nothing about developing recipes or anything. I have no real background in food or anything, so we're going to absolutely wing it, but what I'm going to do is in the description, I'm going to leave the recipe that I ended up using. I know that there's a few actual recipes of strange ones floating about, but I kind of wanted to do my own take on it because a lot of them have ingredients in them that I don't particularly want to eat. So, like I think one of them had like food-colored prawns / shrimp. I don't really want to do that, so we're going to do our own version. I'm going to kind of do it a little bit like a cinnamon roll, but with a different kind of filling, I think. So with the help of Google, we're going to try and create our own recipe. I'm going to link in the description the recipes that we did take some inspiration from because I don't really know anything about food, so we're going to have to kind of take parts of recipes and put them together. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so to get that kind of like round spirally look, I'm thinking that we go with something that could be made in sort of like a muffin tin. I'm pretty sure I have some in the kitchen. If not, I'll have to do it on a basic tray or like a loaf pan or something. We'll figure it out. But for now, I'm going to look for something that we can do in a muffin tin style situation. And I'm thinking I want to base the dough part off cinnamon rolls, so if I search for muffin tin cinnamon rolls, I can't spell. Let's have a look at this one. We're not going to go with the cinnamon filling, we're going to go with something else. Because I think the like cinnamon sugar situation doesn't really go with what we're doing here. Don't these look incredible? Alright, so looking at the dough part is what we're going to be interested in here. So this is from Amy's Cooking Adventures. Again, I'll leave the link for this down in the description in case you want to make the actual cinnamon rolls. So we've got some water, sugar, yeast, butter, an egg, salt, and some flour. Okay, so yeah, pretty easy to get stuff here. So I'm also looking for stuff that's going to be relatively easy to get through like a grocery order. I kind of find here that when I try to order groceries, half the stuff isn't available. So I'm looking for stuff that's not too kind of out there. We're trying to isolate before our trip so that we don't kind of end up testing positive for COVID before we go. So if we can order the groceries, that'd be ideal. Okay, so we've got our dough ingredients. Now I do not have a stand mixer, so we are going to do this by hand, but we'll do our best. Now for the filling, how am I going to search for this? I don't really know exactly what I want to put in it. In my head, the void mayo for me is like what would replace the sort of cinnamon sugar in a cinnamon roll, so we're going to look for alternatives to cinnamon roll filling. Let's have a look at this first result. Now bearing in mind the top has a little kind of like jam / jelly situation, I'm trying to think of stuff that's going to go well with that. Let's have a look at this article. 20 takes on the classic cinnamon bun because YOLO. I'm wondering if we can also find something kind of dark coloured as well, because obviously void mayo is like black. I don't think I want to actually like colour the item black. I wonder if crushed Oreos might work here. The only thing is, when you look at the strange bun, you can't really see that there's anything void mayo-y going on. So I wonder if that's even the play. Maybe we go with something that's kind of like a more pale colour. Got one here that's from a forum. Let's have a look at this. I mean, to be fair, a sort of custard type filling does sound good, but that kind of terrifies me. Let's have a look if we can find something that's kind of similar, because I don't know how well that would bake. What about this one? Yeah, see, most of the custard buns I see are kind of like more like a filling. I just don't think it's going to go very well when it's outside of the bread. I don't know if it's either going to leak everywhere or going to burn or something. I mean, okay, so looking at Google Images, they do exist. I don't really know how well it's going to go with rolling them, because isn't it just going to kind of go everywhere? Alright, let's try another way of searching this thing. Alternative cinnamon roll fillings. If not, we might just have to roll with the chocolate idea, or like the Oreo idea. Ooh, roasted strawberry cream cheese rolls. That gives me an idea. I wonder if we do like a sort of vanilla cheesecake style filling and then it will go well with the jam that's on top. Well, that's helpful. What about this one? Okay, so scrolling down on this one, it does look like that this one does have like a cream cheese type filling kind of spilling out a little. So that's probably the kind of thing that we're looking for here. Where's the actual there we go. And it's literally just cream cheese, sugar and vanilla, so that should be relatively easy to get. And again, I'll link the recipe down below because we are going to try and take the filling part of this and put it together with the muffin tin cinnamon roll recipe. Hopefully get these kinds of buns with this kind of filling. And then the jam on top is just jam, so I don't really think I need to kind of Google anything about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order the groceries and then we're going to get making. Okay, so it's now the next day. I managed to get all my groceries in, so I hope this angle is okay because I've kind of got you guys on top of the microwave, on top of the bowl, and then the camera. And our camera doesn't have like a flip out screen, so I'm using a mirror to make sure the angle's okay. So hopefully we're good. Now let's get making. Okay, let me go take my ring off because I don't want to get dough in it. And I don't know also how echoey it sounds. I've got a mic, but literally got it today, so minimal testing, and I don't know how much you can hear how squeaky the floorboards are here. That is the one thing that I don't like about this place. So I've got my recipe in front of me. What did I do with my ingredients? Had to get the yeast out of the cupboard. So it says this is 1 package of yeast, but the ingredients say though 2.25 teaspoon of yeast. This literally feels like double the amount of yeast I need for the recipe, even though it says 1 package there, but I think that's an American packet, I don't know. Or do I just go with the amount that it says on there? Maybe I should I'll stick to the amount. Okay, so it does say in the bowl of a stand mixer. I don't have a stand mixer, I just have me. So we're gonna do our best. Oh, I have a whisk. I forgot I even had this. And I've got some cup measures which also have some spoon measures on it as well. I've also got a couple of size baking dishes with me because I'm not sure which ones are going to be the ones that we're going to end up using. I've got like a bigger one and a smaller one. I'll just put those aside for now because I don't really want them in the way. Now you guys usually see me only sitting down, so it's really going to come out how clumsy I am. So water, yeast, sugar, butter, egg, salt, and 1 cup of flour. Okay. Almost forgot the egg. So water, our yeast, I'm going to pour it into the teaspoon measure and then just see if it's like the right amount, and then any excess I'll have to get rid of. Where is the little tear thing? 1, 2. Okay, so it's literally half a package. Nowhere near a full package. I'll leave it aside just in case. I need 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. There we go. And then we need 2.5 tablespoons of softened butter. So where is my butter? Here. How am I going to do this neatly? Maybe like this. What the heck? I'm really hoping that's not a wasp. I think it's just a bee. I'm hoping it's just a bee. Right, so there's one. That's our butter done, and then we need half a teaspoon of salt. And then I need to add 1 cup of flour. Oh, I almost forgot the egg. Now for our cup of flour, I can't guarantee that I'm not going to make a complete mess here. See, I'm completely uncoordinated. Right, there's half. And there's a whole cup. So now it just says to beat it until mostly smooth for about 2 minutes. It's probably going to be longer than 2 minutes because I'm doing it by hand with a very small whisk. I also forgot to mention that I'm doing it with the glass dishes instead because I thought I had a muffin tin and I don't. And I really don't want to go out again. Okay, so I've got the mixture pretty much smooth. And now I need to add the remaining flour, so I'm going to do it at a time. Just try and incorporate it. I don't know at what point I'm going to have to switch out of using the whisk because obviously it's going to turn into a dough. Alright, so we're on 2 cups now. I think on the next one is when I'm going to have to switch out of using the whisk. And even though we've been here for a bit now, I still haven't re-got all of the sort of kitchen utensils that we need, so I'm using a rice paddle. Yay, it's turning into dough! I don't think I've messed up yet. Now on 3 cups, and then I just have a 1/4 cup after this. Giving me a major handache. To be fair, Michael and I have been doing some garden work today, so I am a little bit more tired than I expected, and it's a lot later in the day than I expected it. Time just kind of ran away today. I have a feeling though I'll need a little bit more flour. And it does say you can obviously add more if the dough is too sticky. Okay, yeah, the dough is definitely way too sticky, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour. It says on the recipe that the dough should be able to pull away from the sides of the bowl, but it is doing no such thing. I do actually tend to find this though with most things that I've ever made that require sort of a bread type dough, is that they require way more flour than it says. And I think this is where I'm going to have to start doing it by hand, to be honest. Oh, I can really do without the iPad locking right now. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of worried about the sheer quantity more flour that I'm adding to the recipe than it says. But we'll just have to see what happens. There is so much of it on my hands, oh my god. Gross. Alright, I think we're actually getting there now. It's starting to feel more like I'd expect it to, with my very limited knowledge. Just kidding. I hate this. I need to now turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead a couple of times to form a smooth ball, so. Flour. The surface is clean, I cleaned it right before I started recording. Okay, got that spread out on my God. And now, it just says to knead it into a ball. Okay, so for whatever reason my camera just decided to start recording. I have no idea what happened there. But I think we should be good to get this dough into a bowl. It's not the smoothest thing in the world, but neither am I, so this will do. I need to clean this bowl up so that I can use it, so let me just plop that down there for a second. All good, and then I need to leave this now to rise for an hour. I should probably put it in the bowl first, that would definitely help. Now I need to put it in a warm place to rise until the dough is light and doubled about an hour. Now I don't have any plastic wrap, so I'm going to use foil. And then I'll come back again once the dough is risen. Then we can start making our filling. Okay, so it's been like an hour. I'm now going to go and open the dough. I literally haven't looked, so I have no idea what's happened here. Let's look together. Look at it! What I'm actually going to do is leave it there for a little while. I'll set that over there because I need to make the filling for the buns first, so we'll do that first. Now that was my only mixing bowl. What am I going to do? I'll just have to use a pasta bowl, I think. We make do with what we've got. So I need to beat the cream cheese with the sugar until completely creamy. For the recipe it's in ounces, so it says 8 ounces, which comes out to 226 grams. Now, the package of cream cheese I've got is 250 grams, so it's just a bit less than the full packet. Alright, cream cheese is in our bowl. I then need 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, well my cup measures are in the sink still, let me fix that. Okay, I think that works out to probably about 1/3 cup. This is a 1/2 cup measure. I don't have the 1/3 cup one, I don't know where it's gone. I mean, at the end of the day, even though most baking is a science, this is just a filling that is literally comprised of cream cheese, sugar and vanilla, so I don't think this part can go too wrong. At least I hope. Really wish I had another mixing bowl. The arm workout is real. Obviously, if you have one, highly recommend using an electric mixer. And then we need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, I usually use that. Oh, this one's really thick. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that I usually use the cap for this kind of thing. That's definitely less than a teaspoon though, so I'm gonna add another capful. And then we'll get that nice and mixed in. Okay, I think so far this is looking really good, so. Okay, so go back to our cinnamon roll recipe. And get some flour onto my surface. It's really strange because the flour's kind of like sticking to each other and not like staying on the surface. But then again, I have a white worktop, I can't really see very well. We're doing our best. Okay, so I now need to get the dough and punch it down. Do they literally mean punch it? I don't know baking terminology. Oh no, please don't be stuck. I don't think I greased this enough. I think I'm definitely gonna need way more flour. Maybe I should probably go take my ring off again. Hang on. Okay, problem. Don't have a rolling pin. Did not think that part through. Using a pint glass because it's round. Just gonna roll it out into the large rectangle. I don't know how thick it should be, it doesn't say. It just says large rectangle. I need more specific instructions. Is this large enough? Alright, I think that's a rectangle. Now here's where things might get a little bit weird. So, obviously on the top of a sweet roll you can see like a pinkish kind of reddish colour topping. What I'm going to try and do is roll some jam into this, and here's how I'm going to do it. And obviously I only want it visible on the top, so I'm only going to do it at one end, and I've got seedless jam for this because I didn't want like the visibility of all the seeds in there. It won't really go with what we're doing. So let's spread some jam. I'm not going with measurements here, just as much as looks like would fit right on here. But basically just a couple of spoonfuls really, Because then this way we've got kind of like a strawberry cheesecake roll. And I think that'll be great. There's only one way to find out though. And then grabbing another spoon for our filling. I do think there's actually too much filling here. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this, I'll figure something out. If I just put on that much for now and see how we go. I'm just going to spread it nice and evenly over our dough. I think my biggest fear with this filling though is the fact that it might like spill out instead. But there's literally, again, only one way to test it. And of course this cream cheese bun recipe has it sticking out of the dough, so I think maybe we'll be alright, but I can't say I'm not nervous. So here's a kind of like better view of how I've done with the cream cheese and the jam, because I just realised looking at the viewfinder that you can't actually see where I put the jam, so that's how I've done it, and you'll see why I've done it this way in a minute. Okay, so I think what I'm actually going to do is use this bigger dish. So I'm going to get some oil on it. I probably could grease it, it'd probably be better with butter, wouldn't it? But would it? No, I'll use the oil. Okay, so that's nice and greased. And now I need to carefully roll it up, and I'm doing it from the jam side first because that is going to be the top / the middle of the bun. Oh no, it's sticking. This is not ideal. I should have put more flour down. We'll get there even if slowly. The big buzzy thing is still in here and I don't know what it is. What I'm going to do is like flour as I go along. It keeps them on my hands as well. Stops it sticking to me that way. I'm having to really carefully kind of scrape it up off the worktop. Maybe the dough was a little bit too sticky to begin with. Uncoordinated. Okay, there's our big old roll. It's kind of hanging off the edge. Okay, let's sort that out. So, I'm gonna cut this end off. Oh no. And then how big do we want to put them? So it says cut it in half. Okay, let's cut this other end off. Learn from me, the dough is too sticky. Okay, so it says to cut it into half first. And then cut the half in half. And now it says to cut these into thirds, but they're gonna come out tiny. I think I'll cut them into quarters. I think that's gonna be our best bet here. Now I need to put them carefully into our dish. Oh my god, how am I gonna pick these up? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll move the dish over shortly so that you can see what I'm doing. So here's my dish. I need to carefully start transferring these, but because it's so sticky, I didn't really cut this properly. Oh no. Some of them are definitely going to come out better than others. They're so far not very round, and it's definitely because I didn't roll it tight enough, and because the dough is too sticky. These strange ones are definitely going to come out looking strange. Oh no, this one's looking awful. To get that kind of swirl shape, I need to somehow attempt to so here's my tin. You can see that none of them look like they should, except maybe this one. But yeah, I need to somehow lift the dough up, but it's not really cooperating, so I don't know if I can do that. But this is probably as good as we're going to get them, so I'm just going to stop touching them and messing them up even more. And now looking at this recipe, I need to set aside and rise for 30 minutes, so I'm just covering it lightly so that it can actually rise. So I'm going to go preheat the oven and get some cleanup done, and I will meet you when I'm putting them in. Okay, so oven's been preheating. I've left this to rise for half an hour. Let's have a look how it's come out. Okay, so they're definitely bigger. Yeah, they're not going to be the most round things ever, and I definitely can't do the thing where you lift up the top because the dough was a bit too sticky, so I'm a little bit worried about how these are going to come out. But I think by the time that I added all the flour to make the dough not sticky before it was rising, I'm pretty sure I added a good half a cup more, so that was kind of worrying. But hey, let's pop these in the oven and I'll see you when they're cooked. Now the recipe does say to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to come and check them after that time, but I have a feeling they're going to need longer because obviously the recipe that we were using were meant for muffin tins and these ones are all going to be stuck together, so I reckon it's going to take considerably longer. But however long it ends up taking to cook, I'll leave in the description down below. And just for detail as well, our oven is a gas oven that doesn't have a fan in it, so your oven might do something completely different to what ours is going to do. but I'll leave the time there either way. It might give you a little bit of an indicator. Okay, so it's now the next day. You know what, I think I've officially made it as a pro YouTuber because my last piece of footage got corrupted. And that was the bit where I actually got them out the oven, revealed them, and also had the taste test in it, so I'm kind of disappointed about that, but to be fair, they didn't really come out looking like strange buns. I'll leave some footage on the screen of what they actually came out looking like. Except in this piece of footage, I filmed them after I added a bit more jam, because when I did the taste test, I found that the cream cheese filling kind of didn't taste it very much. I think I could have fixed that by either putting some more vanilla or I think when I try this again, I think I'll go with the custard filling that I did think of in the first place. I think that'll give us a little bit more flavour anyway. But once I added the jam, they actually came out really nice. But then again, who doesn't like fresh bread and jam at the end of the day? They kind of just, like I said, came out as more like strawberry cheesecake buns, which I'm not mad about, but yeah, they definitely didn't look anything like strange buns. I think at some point in the future I do want to try it again. I will get a muffin tin this time so that we can make sure we get the shape. The dough I definitely need to add a fair amount more flour to, which again, like I said, is wild because I added at least half a cup more than it said to do, and even then my dough is still way too sticky. It cooked well though, so I don't really know. I don't know, something wasn't right about the dough. Anyway, thank you all again for getting me over 1,000 subscribers. I still can't believe that we're here. The videos and the streams and stuff has really been quite the adventure, and I can't wait to see where that takes us next. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!